The Reid 9 Steps to Interrogation, a brief summary. Step 1. Direct, positive confrontation. Having direct and positive confrontation is a very important relationship to have during the interrogation. The investigator must keep a clear and direct attitude towards the suspect. Less threatening terms are substituted for other ones, such as arson or burglary. The investigator often tends to act in a manner to where it is easy for the suspect to believe there is more evidence or opposing information against them than there may actually be. Although behavior plays a major role in justifying if the suspect is innocent or guilty, not all reactions or behaviors can always be taken to notice. Step 2. Theme development. Theme 1. Sympathize with the suspect by saying that anyone else under similar conditions or circumstances might have done the same thing. Theme 2. Reduce the suspect's feeling of guilt by minimizing the moral seriousness of the offense. Theme 3. Suggest a less revolting and more morally acceptable motivation or reason for the offense than that which is known for or presumed. Theme 4. Sympathize with the suspect by condemning others. Theme 5. Appeal to the suspect's pride by well-selected flattery. Theme 6. Point out possibilities of exaggeration on part of the accuser or the victim, or exaggerate nature and seriousness of the event itself. Theme 7. Point out to the suspect grave consequences and futility of continuation of criminal behavior. Step 3. Handling denials. There are often times when the suspect states a denial, some stronger than others. The investigator can control the effect of the denial or the conversation by either pointing out flaws in the denial, watching behavior before the denial, or simply discouraging possibilities of a weak or desperate denial. Eliminating weak or false denials simplifies the case and makes it easier to develop an outcome. Control of the situation is very important, especially when stopping false denials. Step 4. Overcoming objections. Objections commonly occur in interrogations. Learning how to overcome them is a difficult part. When an objection is stated, the interrogator must recognize the objection, reward the objection, and sometimes turn the objection around. By doing these simple steps, the interrogator may be able to better find flaws or holes in the suspect's case if guilty. Step 5. Procurement and retention of a suspect's attention. Holding the suspect's attention is vital to a good interrogation. There are a few good techniques to keep the attention of a suspect if he or she is resisting or losing focus. Chair proximity, establishing eye contact, the use of visual aids such as photos of weapons, and asking hypothetical questions are good tools to use. Step 6. Handling the suspect's passive mood. Relating to the suspect and showing similarities between the victim and someone cherished in the suspect's life is a good strategy. When done properly, and if the suspect is guilty, movements tend to show the guilt. Interrogators should look for changes in arm and leg position, nonverbal agreement such as a head nod, change in posture, and change in eye contact or facial expressions. Step 7. Presenting an alternative question. Offering an alternative question may present the same thought to the suspect, but in a less threatening manner. Guilty persons will tend to offer more information or confess with an alternative question. For instance, instead of asking the suspect, "You killed your wife, didn't you?" you could ask, "Did you plan on doing this the day that you were married, or did it pretty much happen right after your fight?" Step 8. Having the suspect orally relate various details of the offense. Details provide more solid proof of the guilt of a person. After the interrogator has seen body movements that indicate the suspect's admittance of guilt, he should move on with more direct questions. Asking questions that lead the suspect to describe the crime and the order of events is the next step. This information acts as a more solid confession. Having the oral confession witnessed by a second person assures the guilty person that he has fully committed himself and will be less likely to refuse that the confession took place. Step 9. Converting an oral confession into a written confession. Shortly after an oral confession is given, a written confession should be obtained. A few hours later or the next morning could be too late. As soon as possible after the oral confession is given, the written confession should be made available for the guilty person to sign.